Welcome to the Press Box. I'm Ryan Thorburn, joined as always by Steve Mims. It's USC week. Oregon getting ready to host the Trojans in a battle of ranked teams, believe it or not. Both teams were 3-3 and are on 4-game winning streaks. We thought USC might win the South in August and the Ducks might win the North. Technically, both are still alive in those respective division races. How do you see this matchup kind of playing out, Steve?
Yeah, it's interesting, like you mentioned. Everybody thought this would be a top 5, top 10 matchup in August, and all of a sudden it looked like it would be a couple unranked teams with not much to play for a month ago, and all of a sudden they both put themselves back into position. So it really, you're impressed with Oregon. You go back and look, and we talked about how there was Stanford and Cal and Arizona State, and USC was kind of this 4-game gauntlet at the end, and Oregon's not only won the first 3, but has seemingly improved in each, and now comes into USC as a favorite and feeling like they can win that one. Maybe get some help from Cal, and suddenly, they're a Civil War win away from getting into the title game.
Yeah, Royce Freeman is an absolute stud who should be at least considered for All-American candidacy, but, it's the year of the running back nationally, and DeForest Buckner is, maybe the best defensive player in the country, certainly top 10. But I think Vernon Adams is the MVP of the Ducks this year based on what's happened. He broke his finger, and it was kind of a disaster there through the first 6 games. Since he's come back 4-0, I think he has 12 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions, and I think he's really made it a fun finish, even though it's not what he had hoped for. I think he's still enjoying the fact that he got to come to Oregon and play in these type of games against teams he dreamed about playing against or for.
Yeah, and certainly Mark Helbert was talking today, just the difference in the whole team when there's a confidence in the quarterback and knowing that if something breaks down, he can make a play. I think even when Vernon was first started out, it took a little while to build that confidence. We've seen it now that there's sort of a no-doubt belief from this team and the receivers right now that if they can run around long enough, Vernon can scramble around long enough to get it to them and he can throw it accurately to them. So I think there's definitely the line's been playing better, almost feels like, as they kind of realize that even if somebody gets by, Vernon can get around. I think just sort of what he's brought to this team, and now that we've seen some success over the last few weeks, his team really believes in him, and we're seeing that confidence pay out throughout the offense.
Amazing efficiency by the offense last week. Had the ball 17, 18 minutes and put 38 on the board and beat Stanford. I think they're going to have to put a lot of points on the board against USC, given the fact that Cody Kessler is very efficient. They have an emphasis on the running game now, and it looks like Tyree Robinson, who's really solidified the secondary the last few weeks since he moved to cornerback. I think he's probably going to be out, and all of a sudden that secondary is going to be very vulnerable again.
Yeah, and these two teams haven't seen each other since I think it was November 3rd of a couple years ago. I think it was 61-52 that year at USC, so we could be looking at another one of those, but certainly the offenses were going crazy there, and I agree with you. USC's got a couple defenders out. Oregon might have a couple out. The way Adams and Kessler are both playing, this does kind of have the feel of a back and forth to where, the team at the end that has the ball is either going to have a chance to win it or lose it.
Well, the Ducks say if they happen to win this game, which I think they have a good chance of doing, they're going to be the biggest Jared Goff / Cal fans on earth. Is there any way you see that scenario playing out where the Ducks win and the Cal Bears upset Stanford?
I do. I don't think it is a situation where people think, maybe Stanford will have a letdown after losing to Oregon. Stanford doesn't seem like a team that does that, but they do seem like a team that can give up some passing yards. We saw Oregon throw for a lot and only 12 passes. Goff goes out there and throws it 36 times. I don't think there's any doubt that Cal can put up some points on Stanford, and if that becomes a shootout, it could be one of those going into the fourth quarter where if you're Oregon, if nothing else, you're up till 10:30 at night with the possibility of winning at the end.
Well, that would be some storyline if the Ducks went from 3-3 to back in the Pac-12 championship game should they beat Oregon State, but a lot to play out before that, and we'll figure it all out after the game and talk to you then. Thanks for tuning in.